Okay, everyone. So welcome to PyNet Labs, and my name is Jatin, as most of you are already familiar with me. So today is your day first of your NRC training. So let's have a quick introduction about what exactly this NRC is all about and what are the topics which we are going to cover up in this training. And also, most of you has already gone through with the ENCODE training. So we will be implementing and troubleshooting a lot of things in your NRC training. So just let me give you a quick introduction so that we can start with the NRC parts, and we'll also see what are the topics which we are going to cover up and rest of the other things as well. So let's get started with the intro part. So I'll write here intro. And as you all know that Cisco is something like which come up with various certification tracks. Like there are 3 certification tracks usually we have. The very first certification track Cisco came up with is your associate level, or you can say CCNA level. Then second we have is your CCNP level. And the third one we have is your CCIE level. So the CCIE is something that you are the master of that particular domain. But apart from that, if you will see that in CCNA, CCNP, CCIE, there are various certification tracks available. Like for example, if you are going with CCNA, so only in CCNA, like you can find collaboration is separate. You'll find routing and switching is there. Also, you'll find some securities there.
If you enjoyed the content of the video, don't forget to like and share the video and subscribe to our channel.
One of the very trending certification introduced by Cisco is your DevNet, which is mostly all about the automation part. So there are various certifications which Cisco offers you, like in every of the domain. Like if you are going for CCNA, that is like Cisco Certified Network Associate, where every network engineer must have the basic understanding of CCNA. Then after completing your CCNA career, you can move towards your CCNP journey and then CCIE. So like this is how all these things work. Now let's say you joined PyNet Labs with the CCNA program, or you have completed your CCNA from anywhere else, doesn't matter. It's if it is PyNet Labs or not. You must be having some good understanding about the CCNA. Then you will be definitely going with CCNP and Co. Then, like, let me show you how exactly the career chart works in case of Cisco. So let's say you appeared for CCNA, and in CCNA you have selected routing and switching. Now this routing and switching is also considered as enterprise, which is 20301, the paper code which we usually discuss in the CCNA trainings. So once you have completed your CCNA training, then you definitely move towards your CCNP journey. Now, guys, in CCNP, previously there used to be 3 papers. Like all these options are available in CCNP as well. Like you can go with collaboration, you can go with the data centers, you can go with the service provider. So all these certifications are considered by their own certifications, or they have their own unique paper code name. Like if you are going for routing and switching, so CCNP Encore is the code which is given for routing and switching. Now if you are going for security, so it is CCNP SecCore. And then if you are going for automation, so it is an auto. And every certification comes up with a different paper code. So this is what we do have here in this kind of scenario. Like if you are going towards your journey, like let's say now you completed your CCNA examination. Then after that, you are trying to appear for CCNP ENCODE. So there are 2 exams which you have to qualify. The first exam is your core exam. The second exam is your concentration exam. Now, in case of core and concentration, in the category of core exam, you will find various categories. Like I'll write here separately so that it would be pretty much clear to everyone. So let's say if you are going for core exam, core plus concentrated. So these are 2 exams, core exam and concentrated exam. And let's say if you're appearing for core exams, the first you have is NCore, which is routing and switching. You can go for SecCore as well, which is CCNP security. You can also go with DL core. DL core is basically for data centers. You can go with CL core, which is basically for collaboration. And there are some SP cores as well, which is pretty much related to service provider. So these are some Encore certifications. Like right now, we all have discussed the ENCODE certification in the last training, which is enterprise version. We can say it's mainly about routing and switching, but there are a few other introductory things as well, which are related to your routing and switching. But then after, when it comes to the concentrated exam, now Cisco has introduced this thing like if you want to appear for the CCNP and core certification, you have to give two exams. The first one is your core exam. The second one is your concentrated exam. If in case you have appeared for one exam, either it is your core exam or it is your concentrated exam. So in that case, you will find that in case of your encore examination, if you have appeared and you haven't appeared your concentrated exam, so you'll not get the badge of CCNP certified. You will only get the badge of Cisco Certified Network Specialist. If you have appeared one exam, either it may be your core exam or it may be your concentrated exam. Now, when it comes to the category of concentrated exams, what are the technologies which Cisco introduces for concentrated exam? The very first we have is your NRC. Also with NRC, Cisco has developed something NDGN, DSGN. It's for designing the networks. Also, apart from that, you will find NSD-WAN is there. So if you want to go with SD-WAN, you can go with SD-WAN as well. Like if you will go with NWST. So it is for wireless implementation or wireless networks. And lastly, we have some N-Auto, which is for an automation part. So these are various technologies like NRC stands for Advanced Routing and Switching, so which we are going to discuss, and it comes along with some paper code. So the paper code for NRC, which we are going to discuss, is 3004010. And in the encode training, we have already discussed 354401. So these are the paper codes which we have to, go through. So these paper codes are identified by basically, they are being identified with these codes like this is the current syllabus which we are going through with and what are the rest of the things which we will be covering up. So over here, the next thing we are having is some kind of your exam topics that what exactly this CCNP NRC training is all about and what are the topics which we will be covering up. So let's say I'll write here CCNP NRC and the CCNP NRC, the paper code we are going to cover up is 300.410. Now in this examination, like if you are going to appear for NCORE and you can select any of these technologies, either NRC, SD-WAN, the wireless implementation, automation, but you have to appear for these two examinations. Either it may be your SD-WAN, NRC. Once both of these exams are clear, then only you will be considered as Cisco Certified Network Professional. Else, if in case you have appeared for only one exam, you will be getting the badge of Cisco Certified Network Specialist. Either it may be core or concentrated exam. So this is now something Cisco has introduced, but you know what previously used to happen that Cisco, like for example, if you're going with Encore, which is like your routing and switching. So there used to happen three exams. The first one was your CCNP route, which was specifically for the routing part. Second was CCNP switch, which was for switching part, and third one was your CCNP T-shoot, which was specifically for the troubleshooting part. So this is something we have in here about the introductory part. Now let's try to see and get more in detail what exactly the topics which we are going to cover up. Now over here, in this NRC training, we are going to see some layer 3 technologies. In this layer 3 technologies, like there are various things, like it is going to cover 35% of the weightage. Like here you'll find loop prevention mechanisms of BGP and policy-based routing is there. EIGRP is there more in detail. OSPF is there with version 3. Some network types of OSPFs are there, like what is point-to-point, multi-point, and broadcast, not so stubby, and all these things. Then after this layer 3 technologies, we have some VPN services. So in the VPN services, we will be discussing more in detail about DMVPN, what are hub spoke technologies, and what is GRE, MGRE, what is IPsec, what is spoke to spoke technologies, and all these things. Then the third thing we are going to cover up is your infra security. And lastly, we are going to cover up some infra services. So infra services are something like where we will see telnet, console, and some SNMP traps, IPSLA, quality of service, some DNS center assurance, and all these things. So these are just kind of some introductory topics in the infra services, but we will be covering up each and everything. So this is what like the curriculum which is going to be for your NRC training. So now, as of now, I'll be just giving you a brief like what exactly the topics we are going to start with. So see, in NRC, I can start with any of the topics. Like I can start with OSPF, BGP, or with any of the layer 3 technology, because layer 3 technology is the first part which we have in here. Then the next thing is VPN services. But before going on these things like layer 3 tech and VPN services, infra security, and all these things, so we will be getting with some of the basic things in the start. Like we'll start with the IPv6, because NRC is more about IPv6 as well, because it's something a very crucial and important part to understand the NRC very much effectively, we can say. And we know that it's an advanced version of IP which was released after IPv4. So here in case of IPv6, we are going to see few things like there are various things. So first of all, intro part we will be covering up. Then after introductory part, we will see types of IPv6 addresses. Then after types of IPv6 addresses, we will try to see some labs for IPv6. So in case of lab, so I'll write here 3 labs we will perform initially. The first lab I'm going to perform with some static routing, some OSPF version 3, and some AIGRP. So these are the 3 labs for IPv6 which we are going to cover up, as in just basic introductory part to make you familiar with these concepts. Then we'll start with the IPv6 layer 2 option. What are IPv6 layer 2 options? In this layer 2 options, we will what exactly like duplicate address detection is, and it's like in IPv4 you all have heard about address resolution protocol. So here we don't have ARP, we have neighbor discovery process, which we will see. So after discussing the layer 2 options, we will see the NDP process. And after discussing the NDP process, we will be trying to get more in detail about IPv6 first hop security. So this is one thing, and then after we'll see some RA guard, routed advertisement guard. This is basically for the security preventions, and we will try to implement this RA guard and how exactly this RA guard is going to work. Then we will see DHCP with IPv6. So after DHCP IPv6, you can see the relay agent will as well, like with the IPv6 I'm mentioning here, relay OLC. And after the relay agent, so this is something we are going to see in the IPv6. Then I'll start with the next topic, which is your route maps. So maybe like 2-3 days will be taken in this IPv6 part because it's a lot lengthier as in comparison with the encode trainings. So then we'll see the route maps. And just one more thing I have decided for this NRC training, that the first layer 3 from the layer 3 technologies, like see OSPF is there, EIGRP is there, but I'm not going to start with OSPF or EIGRP. I'll directly start with the BGP because I think many of the participants are very much curious to start with the BGP, and we will be discussing a lot of things with the BGP, and BGP is actually a very lengthy topic as per the NRC training. So we will be covering up the route maps, and then after going on the route maps, we'll define the BGP, and we'll try to see most of the topics which are correlated with the NRC training in your BGP section. And that is all. This is how we are going to cover up the NRC training. Now, any inputs anyone wants to add? Yes, Raghu, I just got your message that IPv6 also. So V6, definitely we will be starting with the V6 as of now. And then we will be going ahead to the rest of the other things as well. Yes, it's also there. So I haven't mentioned the complete, Slack part and all these things. So all these things we will be covering up accordingly. So according to that, I will be, going with the topic by topic, and with the official syllabus, we will be covering each and everything, which is basically a part of your NRC training. So I hope everything is clear to almost every one of you, and you guys have no doubt in any of the things which we have discussed. So if you are good to go, we can start with IPv6 introduction.
Jatin, I have a question.
Yes, Raghu, I didn't get it.
Say the virtual configuration.
Didn't get it. Like, could you write on the chat box because your voice is not, clearly audible. Okay, all right. So I hope everything, like everyone is having their lab access for using the IPv6 or whatever the labs in NRC we are going to perform on. So if no one is if there is someone who don't have the lab access, so just let me guide you. Or I hope Arish, Dinesh, Sarvesh, guys, you already have your events installed in your machines. Is there anyone apart from Raghu who is not having the lab setup? All right, no problem. I'll just guide you how you are going to set up your labs, and I will also share the iOS files with every one of you that how you are going to use your EVNG labs for use performing the NRC labs, which we are going to discuss. So just a second, let me share a few files with every one of you. Just allow me for a sec, and also I'll reconfigure everything inside my machine. So I think like many of you guys haven't joined the Telegram group. So I have just dropped the link for joining the Telegram group on the chat box. So please kindly join the Telegram group. I have just dropped all the files which are related to your lab setup. So you can download all the files, and I'll also guiding you how you are going to use the labs and how you are going to configure your labs for EVNG. So just a second, let me reshare my screen. So guys, this is how you guys are going to create your lab setups. The files I have already dropped here, the VMware workstation, EVNG router switch. And also if you require any additional files, you can let me know. Now, once you're going to download the VMware from the given link, if you need the license activation keys, so you can let me know. I'll share the keys as well with you. Now, once you'll download the first file, which is your VMware workstation. So after this is how installing the VMware, you will get the VMware console screen or the interface of VMware. Then after the second file is by the name of EVNG. So you need to click over here, and when you will download the file will appear like this. It's a 1.23 GB of file. So you're gonna double click on this file and you need to write one name. So let's say Eve. So I'll write Eve or any name you can give, EVNG VM, and you need to click on import. So it's gonna take a moment. Let it import first. Also, you need to download this WinSCP. The link is not there inside the Telegram, so I'll share the download link for WinSCP. And once your VM is basically imported inside your machine, so you need to go here and edit virtual machine. So you'll be finding all these options, and these options should be checked on, and you need to just simply power on. Nothing you have to do, as like everything should be by default enabled. So let this VM machine get on. So it is going to provide me one IP address. So let's wait. As you can see everyone that I am getting one IP address here 192.168.1.37, and I need to log in here on my web browser with that IP 192.168.1.37. Now once you are going to log in, you will get a console screen like this. The password is admin and the username is admin and the password is Eve. So once you're going to click on sign in, and this is something how the devices you will get in here, you just simply need to delete all these devices. So I'll be deleting. All right, I'll just reload the web page and I'll close the slab. And I'm going to delete these devices. And once it is done, so that is how the console screen, when you are going to authenticate your identity, the username and password, then that's how the file manager looks like. Here you can add your labs. So for example, if you want to add your lab, here in the add a new lab option, you will get, let's say I'm adding a test lab. And you're simply going to click on save button, and you can see here this plus icon, add an object. So you can see node, network, picture, shape. So I'm going to add one node here. So if you want to search for router. So you can see as of now, no iOS images is installed. But if you'll try to search Cisco, so you'll find that two devices are by default installed in this particular event. So apart from this, we also need to add few more devices. So as you can see, I'm right clicking and I'm searching for switch. So no Cisco VIOS switch is there and it is showing me nothing selected. You can see once again. So it's not giving me the option. Now how you are going to install the devices. So you simply need to, click on the WinSCP and the host name you are going to write as 192.168.1.37. The IP which you are getting here, 192.168.1.37. And in the WinSCP, the username you are going to write as root and the password is Eve and login. And then you need to click on yes button. So here you can see we got the access of your VMware machine. And here on the right side, you got some base machine, which you already have. Now, after this, you need to select one path. Like over here, you just simply go in the directory. You need to go in the folder OPT. Then you need to go in this unit lab. Then you need to go in this add-ons and then this QMO. Now here, after going in this QMO folder, see guys, over here, like let me show you my Telegram. If you'll click on the iOS file for the router, so one link will appear like this. So what you need to do is you need to go in this QMO. So these are the two files which we have here, vios L2 and vios this one. So I'm going to download this file. So this is the layer 2 file. So let this file download. Meanwhile, I'll also download this file. And you don't need to download this ASA because I think it will not be there in your EvenG. So it's basically for firewalls. So let this files download. Meanwhile, we can wait and we will be exporting these files to EvenG so that we can have the access of your routers and switches or any additional file if you require for installing the labs and everything. So you can ping me the name of iOS file as well. So I'll share the link for the iOS file if in case you want to use another additional iOS files. So now as you can see that this vios L2 is being has downloaded. So I'll be just going here and I'm going to extract this file with WinRAR. The file has been extracted here. And if you will see that when you are going to double click on the vios L2 file, I'm just deleting this one because it is of no use to me now. Once you extracted the file, when you'll double click, there is one more folder and then the iOS file is there. So what you need to do is you simply need to cut this file and you need to paste this file over here. And this folder is, I guess, an empty folder. All right, so done. And also I'm going to extract the same other file, which is vios. This file has been also extracted. All right, so I'm just going to cut this folder and I'm going to paste the folder over here. So downloads, I'm going to cut this folder and I'm going to paste the same folder over here. So you can see I got the folders like this and both of the iOS files are there inside the folder. So you need to take care of this, that you don't really change the name of these folders and also just one extracted folder and the file inside the folder. That's how you are going to import these files in your WinSCP. So open your WinSCP. I got something. Yes, I do have L3 files. These are your L3 files, Raghu. So don't worry about this. And in this QMO folder, like after going inside this QMO, you just need to, drag and drop the files from your downloads. So these are the two files and you simply need to drag and drop in these files into the QMO. So I'm just drag and dropping these files. So it's gonna take a moment. Let's wait. So both of the files are inside your QMO folder. Then you need to open your VMware and inside your VMware, you need to log in once again with the root and the password is EVE. Now you can see you got the login access to your VMware. Now you need to run a command here, OPT and then /unitlab. Then after unitlab, you are gonna write wrappers. Then after wrappers, you will be writing UNL wrappers and then give a space -a fix permissions. So this is the command you need to define here. OPT unitlab wrappers UNL -a fix permissions. And I'll also share the same file with every one of you. So you can just go through Okay. All right. Just a second. OPT unit lab. Wrappers, UNL wrappers, AFX permissions. All right. Let's try to go on the event sheet and let's reload. And now let's try to add the devices. So I'm gonna search some router. So you can see Cisco VIOS router. I want to add 2 routers. So I can add, and if you want to decrease the RAM, you can decrease the RAM, which is 512 MB. And I'm gonna save this configurations, and also I'm gonna add some switches. So if you'll find the switch, so you'll find Cisco VIOS switch. I'll add 2 switches. You simply click on switch, and these are the 2 switches which you got. And you know that in EvenG, if you are working, so these devices should be in the off state if you want to establish the connectivity. So I'm going to click like this, and when the devices are in the on state, you will not be able to get the access of the devices. So I'm going to start this router, and once this router is started, you can click over here, and it's going to ask you for the telnet link, or like this it is going to ask you. So what you can do is you can define putty, and you can open the putty software, because I have installed putty inside my device, and it's better you also install putty for getting the terminal access. So over here you'll find the access of the device. So let's wait and we'll see. So you can see the device has now started. So we are going to wait. And this is some iOS version 15.6 2T. Yes, Raghu, exactly right. So we cannot add the another device. Like for example, if you'll see the cable option is coming up here because this device is in the off state. But if you'll try to click here, there will be no cable option, because when the devices are in the on state, you aren't allowed to connect the devices. So they should be in the off state. That's the kind of drawback with EvenG. All right, we'll try to see here the access. So it is going to take a minute to start. And if in case anyone is a Mac user, so for the Mac users, it's not really going to work in case of, if you are a Mac user, because there is some global issue with the VMware. So it's not supporting the M1 chips. So you need to go with the JNS installation if you are a Mac user. So is there anyone who is using Mac? So you can let me know. So I'll share one video with you. So you can go through with the JNS installation as well. Because if you're a Mac user, even G is not gonna support, and it's not really going to work fine on your Mac machines. So as you can see that it is asking me that would you like to enter the initial configuration. So here I can see the access of my router, and I can run the commands like you can see show IP interface brief. So these are the interfaces which are on the router, and that's how you are going to use the device. So you can run the command show version. So let's wait, it's going to. Yep, so here you can see this is the show version command. Once again, I'll write show version. So over here you can see that this is the iOS file which we have, and these are the layer 3 devices. So I hope everything is up to mark till here. Like you guys will be able to install your labs, and after installing the labs, most of the labs we are going to perform here. And once you are done with practice using your labs, so make sure you just turn off your devices, because if in case you forgot to turn off your device and you closed your VM EvenG directly like this, so in that case you need to reinstall the complete process, because this is also a kind of drawback with EvenG. So that's how you are going to define the EvenG installation, and properly you need to shut down each and everything. Also the path which I have entered, I'm sharing with you all in the Telegram group, the path which you need to execute. And the WinSCP also I'm sharing the link you can download using WinSCP. And also guys, I'm sharing the latest version of the packet tracer in your group, so you can download the packet tracer as well. So here is the link for Cisco packet tracer. If in case some labs require packet tracer as well for verifications. So here is the link. Zahid, you can click on the chat box, and like in the Teams chat box, I have already dropped the link to join. So once again, I'm dropping if in case you didn't find. All right, Zahid. So just ping me personally on Telegram. I'll share the link with you. And also I'm sharing the WinSCP link with you all, so you can also install WinSCP. for importing the iOS files. So guys, that is it for today's class, and please just do install your lab files, and if you face any kind of difficulties, you can let me know. And also, I'm not feeling well, that's why I'm just wrapping up the class up to here only, just because I just wanted to interact with every one of you that who are the participants in this batch. And any doubts you guys have in case of lab installation, so just feel free to ping me on Telegram. And from tomorrow onwards, the time we will be continuing up to 11, like 8:30 to 11:30 the time is. So we'll wrap up by 11:15, 11:20 hardly. And from tomorrow onwards, we will start with the topics, which is we will be starting with the IPv6 and rest of the other lab setups we are going to see. So any doubts, any queries you guys have up to here, you can let me know, or else we are good to wrap up for today. Yes, Dinesh, Arish, Raghu, guys, everything clear to all of you?
Yes, sir, it's clear, sir. No query.
Yes, Jatin, it is clear.
All right then, guys. So for today, like we are just wrapping up till here, and please just do install your labs. And if any difficulties you find, you can ping me. And also, if you need any additional files for performing other labs like Cisco ASAs or any other iOS files you require, so you can let me know. I'll share the iOS files and I'll also guide you, and we can have a Teams call if any other issue you are facing. So for today, guys, that is it. Thank you for joining, and apologies for inconvenience as well. So I'm not even feeling well. So we'll be connecting from tomorrow on the same time.